Hey, welcome to Shards. In this video, we're going to talk about straight cutting and gentle wave cutting. And don't forget, you always want to wear your safety glasses when cutting. What you probably have had down in your basement is this. It's a drugstore cutter. It'll work just fine, but only if it hasn't been used for 8 to 10 hours of cutting and or stuck in the bottom of a bucket where it's been rusting. When you're cutting, you're always going to have the wheel, the pizza wheel, away from you. And you always want to try to be on the top of the hone of the wheel. So going edge to edge is really important, and the glass is going to want to break straight. So if you need to coax it into a curve, we'll talk about that in a minute. The best way to hold these types of cutters is to make a peace sign. Put the shaft of the cutter in between the peace sign. Bring your pointer finger down onto the first depression and your thumb onto the back of the depression. So it looks like this. We'll do that one more time. Make a peace sign. Your pointer finger onto the top of the depression. The wheel's away from you. Your thumb on the back. So when you're cutting, I use a finger to steady because otherwise I shake. You go from edge to edge, and it should sound a little bit like that. That is the perfect pressure. It's going to look like a scratch on the surface of the glass, and it's going to break really easily. I'll show you that in a minute. Here's what it looks and sounds like in the movies, which of course is wrong. It's going to sound like this. Okay? It's going to look all white and chippy like that. And when we break it, when you look at the edge is going to look very bumpy and messed up. So let's go back to the one that I just did before. That's the correct pressure. Let me get some pliers to break that with. And then look at the difference. Look at that edge. See how smooth that is? That's what you're looking for. If you're having a hard time cutting your glass, that would be the first thing that you would look for to see if you've got the right pressure. So the glass, it's not a solid, it's a highly cooled liquid. So what that means is all you really want to do is break the surface tension on the glass. You're not trying to actually dig a deep hole in it with your cutter. So again, peace sign, one thumb on the back of the cutter, pointer finger on the front. This one is a different cutter, but it's the exact same shaft. This one is a steel carbide wheel, which lasts a lot longer. So this is a glass cutter that's a more expensive cutter. It's going to work exactly the same way, though. You're going to want to be going from edge to edge. That's the correct pressure. It's going to, again, look like a scratch. Your fingers are going to be knuckles together underneath the score. Your thumbs will be on top of the score and up high so that you can get some leverage on it. You're going to just roll your hands together, open it like a book, away from the score. Let me show you. So my knuckles are going underneath that score. My thumbs are up high. Don't lay your thumbs down. It doesn't give you leverage. Your thumbs need to be up high. And then just like you're opening a book, down and away. We're going to try again on another piece of glass, and we're going to use a different cutter now. So this one, this is called a pencil cutter. This one is harder for me because it's wide and thick. So if you have smaller hands, this one's not going to be so great. You can make a peace sign, put it in between the shaft, and then again, you don't have a place to rest your fingers on this one, but it's always the wheel is away. And you'll notice that when I'm doing this, I'm pushing away from me. If this feels uncomfortable because this is a thick cutter, you can grip it more like this, just like you'd grip onto, put it across the palm of your hand, close your fingers, and your thumb on the back of it. And then you can, again, I guide with my hand and just go across. I'm scoring edge to edge. I'm also just barely breaking the surface tension. So if you're not breaking with your hands, then what you would be doing is using either grozing pliers or running pliers. These ones are grozers. You'll notice there's a flat side on them, and then there's a curved side on them. When you look at the inside, it's serrated, and that gives you a good grip as well as helps you to groze with them. If you're using the grozing pliers, when you break, you always want to use the flat side up. And your tell is going to be, if you've got the flat side up, you'll make contact with the glass right away. It's going to feel very firm. And again, the premise is exactly as we did with our fingers. The fulcrum underneath the score, down and away. Just like that. Okay? Look at the edge. The edge looks clean. You know you've got the right pressure. Generally, what you want for pressure is about 4 pounds. 4 pounds of pressure is the weight of a half gallon of milk. It's kind of more than you might think it is for down pressure, but the tell is really going to be how the score sounds. So we're going to go across again, edge to edge. The next pair of pliers that we're going to pick up are running pliers. Works on the exact same premise. There's a fulcrum, so the bottom is bumped up, it's convex. The top is bumped in, it's concave. So there's a little line on the top of the pliers. You just line up that line with your score. You don't have to go far in, just a ½ inch or so, and squeeze. Everybody loves these because you really don't have to touch the glass at all. But these are only good. Let me make another score and I'll show you what I mean. These are only good if your score is far enough away from the edge of the glass so that you can make contact with both sides of the breaking plier. If you can't make contact, like let's look at this edge. So the score got narrow at this end. I'm only making contact on this side. I'm not making contact over here. So the premise, again, with the fulcrum, it's not going to work with these. So then what you would be doing is you'd abandon those and you'd go to your grozing pliers again. Now your grozing pliers, keep in mind, you're not lining them up with the score. That's what you're doing with the running pliers. With the grozing pliers, it's the flat side up. You're getting next to the score, just next to it, not over it, down and away. Okay, so let's try something a little bit more complicated. The next score would be, I don't know, let's do a wavy score, and I'm going to show you a different cutter. So this one is called a pistol grip, kind of aptly named. It's very good for anybody that has any problem with hand strength, wrist problems, shoulder pain. It's just a much easier grip to handle. And again, it's got the steel carbide little pizza wheel. This one, when you buy it, it does, it's a rotisserie cutter, so that means it rotates a little bit as well as depresses down and up. It's too many moving parts for me, honestly. So if you like it like that, you can use it that way. If you don't like it that way, you just flip the head around and tighten it up with the screw on the back. That'll keep it stationary. All right, so we're gonna try a wavy cut now, and we're gonna go edge to edge. So one of the misnomers is that you have to actually roll up onto the edge. You could spend a lifetime trying to do that. Don't worry about that. Start about 1/8 of an inch in. Again, because I shake, I kind of guide myself with a finger. That's 1/8 of an inch in, and I'm just gonna do a gentle curve back and forth. Okay? So you can see it, but it just looks like a scratch. I'm going to use a different type of running plier. You might have these also, but it works again, the exact same premise. Instead of having concave, convex, you line up the score with the line. There's a little bump under there. I think you might be able to see it. That works as your fulcrum. And then there's 2 little bumps on the top one that push down against the score. So again, exact same premise. Line it up with the white line, press, done. If you found this video helpful, please like us and subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for the next one. If you found this video helpful, please like us and subscribe to our channel. What else are they supposed to do?